All right. So if you are watching this on the recording, make sure to hashtag replay so I know that you were here. I really appreciate my replay viewers. And when you hop on, let me know who you are and where you are from so I can shout you out and say hello. While Facebook is doing its thing, I'm going to be sharing this out in a few places because this is some serious need to know information today. So I encourage you to share this out, especially with your friends who maybe home business owners. You know, this is going to affect a lot of people. Okay. Let me just say that right now. So I'm actually going to share this, like I said, in a few of my favorite places, but also in some other places. Good morning, Miss Tamara. How are you, girl? Honey, this is gonna be some stuff that that folks need to know. So let me share this out in a couple spots. All right, that's one. And let me get into another one of my groups here. All right. Get one more. I'm putting this in places that that people I believe will be seriously affected by this and really need to know. So that's why I'm taking a few extra moments to share this out. And gosh, okay, that's all I can think of right now. Anybody else, I'll just have to get later. Okay, you guys. So first of all, I want to welcome you. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady. I help home business owners keep more of the money that you earn and pay less to Uncle Sam in taxes. I want to invite you to also join me in my Tax Players Club. We're going to have some great stuff coming up in there in October. Okay, so yeah, I'm here Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show at 9 o'clock, you're going to hear about new tax topics. You're also going to hear, you know, when I pop on randomly, we talk about life and business and just how to do this whole thing called Life Better Together. All right, you guys. So I just, man, wait, this is one of those things that I'm just floored by, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, so I got this article from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, and it's talking about a change for 2018. Now, this year, for this filing year, for 2017, those income tax returns that have the earned income tax credit, those refunds were delayed until February 15th. Okay, so people did not, even though people filed early, they may have filed in, you know, at the end of January, what have you, the IRS did not start issuing those refunds until February 15th. Well, now, good morning, Esther. Hello. So now there is there's the plan that was approved for for the earned income tax credit. For those with the earned income tax credit, those refunds will be delayed indefinitely until the IRS can verify all of your income. Okay, so let's talk about how this is gonna not work. Okay, because this is gonna get ugly, because the main people that are going to be affected by this are those that really depend on their tax refunds. Remember, now I told y'all, you know, way last year, we need to get out of the cycle where we depend on these tax refunds for life. Okay, we need to get out of that. And you know what? Now, this is why. So let me read the opening statement to you. The fiscal year 2018 budget plan the House Budget Committee approved in July calls for radical change in the earned income tax credit that could harm millions of low-income working families and cause serious problems for the IRS in processing returns. The budget would delay earned income tax payments each year until the IRS verifies the filer's income. Now, understand this, they're not releasing partial refunds. So if on your tax return you have the earned income tax credit, it's not like they say, okay, we're going to hold this part and then we're going to release this part. No, they're going to hold the entire refund. Okay. So essentially what's going to happen is everybody's going to be kind of going through an audit. They call it a quasi audit here. But what happens is that normally, everybody is, just there are people that are just randomly plucked for audit. If there are, tax returns that look fishy, if something in the tax return makes the IRS computers go, then, those returns are selected for audit. But now we're talking about everybody. Okay. And like I said, this mainly is going to affect low income households. Now, and like I said, it was, if they thought something was fishy, now it's going to be everybody. Now, and one of the reasons for this is that the earned income tax credit is one of the highest paying tax credits, if not the highest paying tax credit in our system. Okay. This used to be called the poverty tax credit. Okay. But now it's called the earned income tax credit. So this was supposed to be something that was supposed to benefit low income people, but it is one of the highest paying tax credits, and it's also one of the highest areas of fraud, okay, in this earned income tax credit. So, so now they're getting to the point where they're wanting to verify everybody's income before they actually issue the credit. So now here's the part that I need for y'all to get, okay? I want you to listen to this. Research shows that many working poor families with children catch up with and pay back bills for basic household expenses when their annual earned income tax credit arrives. A survey of earned income tax credit filers in 2015 found that 80%, 80% use their refunds to pay utility or rent or mortgage bills, or, ready for this, credit card debt, and nearly half repaid high interest payday loans. Okay. So now check this out. So here we are getting ready to go into the holiday season. We are in the spendingest quarter of the month. Q4 is where we in America spend the most money. We start with back to school, then there's Halloween, then there's Thanksgiving, and there's Christmas, and then there's New Year. So from September to December, business owners are going to be bossing out because people are spending money like crazy. But what happens is we get people who really do not have the income. They go and really try to give their kids something they feel like their kids deserve, but really can't afford. So what happens is they go and run up all these bills in Q4 trying to buy things for kids and then wait for that tax refund to pay it all back. Now, did I not say stop living in a life where you depend on your tax refund to pay your bills? Now, you've got research that shows that 80% use their refund for bills. Okay, and nearly half for high interest payday loans. I mean, do we not know that payday loans are really not beneficial to us? Do we not know that? And we also not realize that these payday loan people are in low income areas. Payday loans keep you in poverty. They keep you broke because the interest rate is absolutely ridiculous. It makes more sense for you to go without something than to go get these payday loans because you're going to be paying it back forever, and it's not going to be worth it. Okay, let me get off. Let me get off of that. Now, here is the other thing. So so in the big picture, if you are depending on this tax refund to get caught up on rent or something like that, to the basic living stuff, then if you're not getting this refund and you're depending on it to pay your rent and utilities and stuff, now we're going to see an increase in folks possibly losing their homes, getting evicted, getting utilities shut off. I mean, this is this is the flip side of that, right? So if you are waiting for this tax refund in order to pay your bills and it's delayed indefinitely, then something's not going to get paid, right? So now we really need to start making some smart decisions in Q4 before we go spend all this money. Okay, this is what we need to do here. All right, now here's something else. Okay, so it says that commercial preparers file close to 60% of all income tax credit returns. And the IRS has determined that the majority of these errors occur on these returns done by commercial preparers. Now, this is mainly among tax preparers who lack professional credentials. So I've often warned you about getting street committee tax advice, about going to Ray Ray's Chop Shop to get your taxes done, going to the grocery store, going to the car dealership to get your taxes done. This is where these errors are occurring, because people with professional credentials, we know the rules. We also know how much trouble we can get into for not verifying this earned income tax credit information. So when you go and you try to get cheap tax work done, if you don't do it yourself, if you're going to go get cheap tax work done because you think that, somebody's trying to gouge you or whatever, this is where you get in trouble. And so then when you have a fraudulent tax return because you fall asleep at the darn wheel, right? You fall asleep at the wheel. You just listen to some tax preparer say, "Ooh, I'm gonna get you this major refund." That's all you're caring about, this major refund. You're not caring about if it's accurate or not. You just want to see some checks. You just want to see some money. But when you have to pay this stuff back, number one, it puts you in a high audit category for in the future if you rightly claim the earned income tax credit, and you got to pay that money back. Now, if you're getting this earned income tax credit refund to go pay some bills, and then you're not supposed to get that refund and you're going to have to pay that money back, you're putting yourself in a vicious circle of poverty and debt. And you do not want to be in debt to the IRS. You just don't. Okay, the IRS is one of the longest reaching arms of the law. They can come and take your stuff. They can garnish your check. They can sell your stuff, okay, and get their money. All right, this is another reason why I started tax debt resolution, because we are in trouble. Okay, can we just say that right now? We have too many people that are in tax debt trouble and just don't see a way out. That is why I am here. But I'm also here to help keep you from getting into tax debt to begin with. Okay? This is going to be one of those things that's going to cause people some problems. Okay? Especially for my low income earners. Now, it's not just low income earners. Hello, small business, home business owner people. That's going to be us too, people in our category, okay? Because what happens is, we still have, mom and pop shops and, small business owners and, even home business owners that really operate a business out of their home that claim the earned income tax credit, okay? There are different qualifying rules. I can't go into all of them on this broadcast, but home business owners as well. Now, it's very easy, it's easier to verify income for a W-2 employee, right? Because the IRS gets the W-2, the employee files their W-2, they match, everything's kosher. It might take a little bit longer, but you can at least do that. But for home business owners, this is going to look a little differently because we have to supply the information for the income. Okay. Have I not beat the documentation horse to death? So this is not going to be so simple for home business owners because we have to supply that information. And normally that's not information that gets sent with our tax returns. We file a schedule, the Schedule E's for real estate, and Schedule S for farm people. Okay, we filed those, but there's no documentation that goes with it. Now, if you're being audited, then you have to supply that information. But we're talking about for regular old tax return stuff. Like, there's nothing that says exactly how they plan to verify income for small business owners and home business owners. Now, you've got of course, the independent contractor status, right? Where, you're supposed to get a 1099 if you have $600 of income or more. There are people that are still not issuing 1099s. So if I submit my tax return showing X amount of income and I don't have a 1099 to back it up, now what? How is one supposed to really verify that income? Okay. And then how this is going to work on the flip side is if you have people to whom you should have paid a 1099, send a 1099, and then you don't do it, they're trying to verify this income, then do you know the fines for not filing your 1099s is ugly. Okay. It really is. I did a live broadcast about that a long time ago. So if I'm sitting here saying I've earned X amount of dollars from this source, but they did not issue me a 1099, so then the IRS is going to go to said source and say, okay, you didn't issue a 1099. Here's a nice little fine for you. Get the 1099 done. You're holding up this other person's refund because they can't issue the refund until the income is verified. Okay. So, as far as, those of us who, like photographers, just what they call the gig economy, right? And actually there was an article on finder.com that actually ties into this because there are so many in the millennial generation that have, that are in the gig economy, but are also trying to evade taxes, right? So guys, this is going to this is going to be ugly because it's going to be time intensive for the IRS because, like I said, the computerized stuff, the W-2s and all of that, that's going to be easier to verify. It's still going to take some time, but it's still going to be easier for the IRS to verify W-2 income because you have employers that file W-2s. And you can match that income, okay? But for small business owners, who knows how long that's going to take because we don't submit anything verifying our income to the IRS. The only time we really have to really verify our income is in the event of an audit. Isabel asked, what do I suggest? Number one, your records need to be on point. Your documentation for your income needs to be on point. I have already, like I said, been talking about this for months about the importance of having documentation, being able to properly document your income, document your expenses, and all of that. Okay, that's important. Having those receipts to back up your expenses, because in the event that you do get audited and you don't have receipts to back up your expenses, then the IRS will disallow those expenses, and then you're going to wind up paying more money back to the IRS. There is nothing that we can do at this point as the filers to help this process along. This is something that's going to happen at the IRS level. Okay. And see, now most people are going to be like, oh, I'm hating on the IRS. The IRS did not do this. This is what you need to understand about the IRS. The IRS does what they're told. It's Congress and budget committees and all of that that say, this is what we're going to do. And then the IRS says, yes, sir, and marches on. So don't go hating on the IRS about them enforcing their law. They're doing their jobs. If you don't like the way that the IRS is operating and what they're doing, you need to vote some folk out. You need to find out who your congressmen are, and you need to find out how they're voting. When this came along, how did they vote? Did they vote yay or nay? Okay, and if they didn't vote in a way that you agree with, then you need to vote them out. That's the long and short of it. So, again, we need to get out of the mentality of waiting for this refund. And if you are consistently getting a refund, then you need to be bringing more of your money home, okay? And disciplining yourself to save the money, okay? Not just, okay, I got this extra money coming in. I'm about to go buy this TV. I'm about to go, oh, Lord, we already heard about the iPhone, right? People waiting with bated breath to go buy the $1,000 iPhone. Okay, if you don't know how to make $1,000 with the $1,000 iPhone, leave the iPhone in the store. Okay, do you really need that? That's what I'm saying. So, guys, before you go and and break the bank, trying to buy all of Target for Christmas and whatnot, you really need to stop and say, okay, what happens if I don't get this refund when I'm supposed to get it? Okay. What kind of position is that going to put you in? And then if that's going to put you in a dire position, then you need to rethink how you're spending your money through fourth quarter, because we really don't know how this is going to affect, the population. We just don't know. We'll find out. Okay, that's for sure. We are going to find out. But especially for home business owners, there are still home business owners, small business owners that qualify for the earned income tax credit. And, again, it's going to be how the IRS is going to actually verify the income for small business owners. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that, because like I said, if it's in an audit, then they come to your home or they audit you by mail and say, hey, can you please send us more information based on this? And you send copies of receipts and all of that stuff. And there is someone physically looking at this stuff. There are not enough IRS people to physically look at income statements and receipts and all of that to verify expenses for all the small business owners. There ain't enough people. So I really don't know how they're going to do that. Okay. That's just, I just don't know. I don't think they know, to be really honest with you, because they are, again, have reduced the IRS budget. Okay. So which means, they've had an increase in automation in other places, but now with this, and especially when it comes down to home business owners, that's going to be something that's more labor intensive for the IRS. I don't know how they're going to do it. So, yeah. So, I mean, if you got some questions, I'm happy to answer them as best I can. This comes from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. So if you want to go Google that and read it, it's an article from September 11th. So from Monday. Yeah, this was out on Monday. So Nuts and Bolts says, if you got folks in your life that are dependent on these refunds, and go look at your tax return. If you don't know whether or not you received the earned income tax credit, there's a worksheet that shows if you got the earned income tax credit. You need to look at your tax return. Okay. You need to know what's in there. When you sign your tax return, you are signing that everything in there is true to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury. So when you sign your tax return, you're not just saying, woohoo, I don't know what's in there. No, you are signing saying under the penalty of perjury that everything in this tax return is true. So please stop sleeping when you get your taxes done. Okay. I need for you to stop. You need to know what's in your tax return. If you don't know if you got the earned income tax credit previously, you need to go get your tax return today. And if you don't have a copy of your tax return that you can readily put your hands on, shame on you. Okay. I will say that. Shame on you. So, yeah, so that's it, you guys. That's the long and short of it. It's, there's nothing else I can say. So, if, like I said, if you got somebody that is used to getting these refunds and everything, they need to watch this live broadcast. You need to share this with them, because what's going to happen is, and what happened earlier this year for this tax season with these delayed tax refunds, then people are all upset at the tax preparer. We don't have your money. Okay, we do not determine when the IRS releases your money. So you can call us and you can be angry with us and you can get in our faces and all of that. It is not going to get you your money anytime sooner. That is out of our control. Only thing that we can do is file your taxes based on the information that you provide. That's all we can do. So, okay. So listen, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This is an important topic today. Okay. It really is. And like I said, especially for our home business owners, because home business owners still qualify for the earned income tax credit too. And if the IRS doesn't figure out how they're going to be able to verify our income for, verify our business income, I don't know. Okay, so make sure your documentation is on point. Yeah, Cernolia, I need you to not, I need you to not come and advertise without my permission, though. I appreciate you. All right. So, but thanks you guys for having have a fantastic day. Make sure you share this out. I appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.